Welcome to Withdraw Consent. I'm Jack, and this is Victor. Victor, what do you got for us today?
Well, Jack, I wanted to talk a little bit about some basic principles on how we view things, how we view things that happen in the media, in the real world, and how we reach the conclusions that we come to. If you saw our video about the media, the link is here. We discussed some separate events that happened that on their own seem accidents. Like, let's say the Mockingbird, Operation Mockingbird, where the CIA did some things with the media, influencing media, and they apologized and said, we won't do that anymore. And if you take that as a single isolated incident, there's no grand conspiracy. And that makes sense. But as you add more and more items, more events that all show government working with the media, you have to have that sway your opinion of, is the media working by themselves or are they working with the government? You can't, the odds are just too great when you add so many events in a row that you have to assume that they're working with the government. You have to let that sway you. There's a phrase that says, never attribute to malice what can be attributed to ignorance. And in the case of the CIA, sure, maybe they made a mistake. But again, as the evidence piles up, you have to start leaning towards malice being the default response when you see these things.
Okay, well, when you first started, you said that taking Operation Mockingbird by itself doesn't show a conspiracy,
Right.
But I don't like how you use the word conspiracy there, because I would say it doesn't prove that it's a coordinated stream of events to manipulate and work against the interests of the American people. But even that one, it literally, the purpose of that operation was to manipulate and work against the best interests of the American people. The goal was like, how could we propagandize? How much effect could we have on the American people? Even that taken alone shows a coordinated, that's their motive. Do you know what I'm saying? But I do agree with you. You take a totality of events and you start to see a pattern, and the pattern, it's every decade, every agency, every generation of the agency. I agree.
But if the CIA is just taken by itself, it could have just been the CIA going rogue.
Oh, I
and
see.
just, you don't know that it was a systematic thing representative of the
Okay.
entire government and all media and that type of thing.
I agree.
So, but as you see repeated things of the FBI or whoever doing things, again, like you said, it establishes a pattern. And that's how you end up having to define your worldview, is what pattern matches all of these things? Are these people just accidentally all working together? And again, one or two occurrences, maybe they are. It's just, they just happen to be on the same page. But when it's every big tech, every legacy media, all the people in the government, and they're all saying the same thing all the time, the odds are staggering that could be accidental. And you see it confirmed when you see like the Twitter files that Elon Musk released, that they had 80 FBI agents working, directing them of what to censor. I mean, we're talking government sponsored censorship of the American people. And all the stuff that was viewed as conspiracy theories for the last few years during COVID, and even the people who knew all about all this beforehand, it's all been proven true. And that has to be your default now.
On that story, I would say it's insane to me that happened. But another part of what happened is that out of 80 FBI officers who were working full-time to censor Americans and all the support personnel who knew what was going on, there was not one whistleblower.
It's incredible.
Like, everybody's like, oh, okay, take Americans' rights. Got it. That's our job. We're FBI. I mean, what do we do?
But you're right. I mean, there had to be people who were the tech support in Twitter that were changing things and making shadow ban lists and all that.
Supervisors.
And nobody said anything ever. That was just, they believed they were right.
Well, they're probably doing it at Facebook over in the next room and at, Instagram over here. So,
and that's kind of goes into the other point I wanted to make, is that we know for a fact Twitter did things. We know from things leaked from the Office of Homeland Security that there were monthly meetings with Facebook and Reddit to define, what are we censoring? What is the party line? And you look at So when you look at big tech that are not on that list, let's say Wikipedia, we've had conversations about that just happens to be the party line. You're telling me that everything we've seen, that there isn't good odds that there are people on government payrolls that are at high levels, either in Wikipedia or they're moderators, and they control when things change. You look at Dr. Robert Malone, when he came out about the mRNA vaccinations.
mRNA, yeah.
His entire page changed, and he went from being the guy who created it and all that, and they downplayed everything. Just, you tell me that's an accident and that wasn't coordinated with everyone?
Right.
You have to piece all this together and think, yeah, of course it's coordinated. Even if it's not on a list, we don't know yet. It only makes sense. It fits the pattern that you've seen. At this point, we've talked about, it's been established since the 70s. So we're 50 years in. We know this is how they work and what's going on.
So you're saying you have no evidence whatsoever that Wikipedia is being influenced by the government, but you see them influencing everybody in that sphere, and you're just projecting the pattern outwards. It cannot not be that they spend 80 agents on Twitter and they don't have all of Wikipedia.
Right.
It's just a government.
And Wikipedia, when you search for anything historical or you're looking for biographies or anything, that's the top of all these search engines and everything that we know are in cahoots with them.
Right.
And you think they're promoting someone who is also not in their control? I don't buy it. And so that would be my conclusion, is that find the pattern and put things into it that maybe we don't know about, and you're probably on the right track.
And I would add to that, I would say, whenever you see information coming from one of these places that most likely is coming from the government, consider it to be government propaganda, even if it's not. But just think about it that critically, that you can have an attempt to break through the signal, we'll say. And so if you like this video, we'd appreciate if you'd like and subscribe. We'd also appreciate if you would share this video with others. And if you think we missed the mark somewhere, would you please put a comment? And if you've got the facts, we'll pin you to the top. And we look forward to seeing you next time.